Hi and welcome to Software Architecture. This subject, the description of the subject is that it teaches students current industry practices to design, develop and evaluate software architecture meeting predefined quality characteristics, and those quality characteristics are usually the functionality, the usability, the efficiency and the maintainability. There are other characteristics as well, but they are the main ones. Now, the concepts, theories and technologies used for the methods and techniques will be introduced and explained as they're required, which simply says that we can't tell you everything all at once. You have to do it piece by piece. For the learning objectives, these are usually phrased as, by the end of this course you will, by the end of this course you will be able to describe the factors that affect the architecture context and requirements, including the stakeholders and their interests, the architecture qualities, the business requirements and usage scenarios. So we need to know the context in which this architecture is being developed, and the context, what's the problem this architecture is trying to solve, and the context around that problem. So you'll be able to describe that. Develop and refine multiple views of the software systems architecture based on the conceptual architecture, the execution architecture and the implementation architecture. They're the three main views that consider the architecture problem in a sequence of higher order concerns down to more detailed concerns, and enables you to attack the problem in stages. You'll understand the key issues in choosing and implementing architecture patterns, including performance, testing, security, usability, maintainability and reliability. They're the main quality characteristics that affect or are affected by an architecture and which you have to consider. You'll be able to reason about alternative architecture implementations or alternative architectures to either provide more or less functionality or to improve one or other of the architecture characteristics. You'll be able to develop a complete architecture for a proposed solution to a realistic industry problem. So that is, having learned it piece by piece, you put it all together and do a complete architecture. So they are the learning objectives. Now the teaching strategy gets to be kind of interesting. Now this teaching strategy has been developed over several years and it's the one that works. The strategy is essentially in two parts. In the first part we teach each of the individual steps, each of the individual techniques. And the second half, we put it all together in a reasonable sized project so you can exercise your learning and show exactly what you've learned. So, to make the best use of your time, my time, and the facilities, there's a lot of self-learning. All of the lectures are on videotape, and you can watch those in your own time. There are quizzes provided so you can check how well you understand those lectures. Now each quiz you get 3 attempts, and the best attempt counts. So you can have 3 shots at it, and if you get your best mark on the second one, well, it's the second one that's going to count. In the tutorials we will discuss, examine, practice each of the topics in an appropriate sequence. Okay? So you come to the tutorials having watched the lecture, ready to discuss the content or consider questions about that particular content and engage with the class generally. And that'll be in the tutorials. In the second half, when the group project is going on, the tutorials become peer reviews. Now, in those peer reviews, each group will present the work they've done in the last week to another group who will critique the work. And I'll have more about that later. The tutors will be walking around the room and helping out wherever they can.